Your dog might be licking you because they love you, but that's probably not the whole reason. If licking were just affection, dogs wouldn't do it when you're stressed. They wouldn't do it when you're sitting quietly on the couch, staring at your phone. And they definitely wouldn't do it to your sweaty ankle after a long walk. So what's actually going on? Because when dogs lick people, it's rarely just a kiss. Most of the time, it's something more complicated. Think about a familiar moment. It's late evening. You're sitting on the couch. Maybe the TV is on, but you're not really watching. Your dog walks over slowly, circles once, then settles beside you. And after a moment, you feel it. A small lick on your hand, then another, then another. At first, it feels sweet, maybe even comforting. But if you watch carefully, something becomes interesting. Dogs almost never repeat behaviors like that without a reason, especially behaviors they learned very early in life. And licking is one of the first behaviors dogs ever experience. When puppies are born, their mother licks them constantly. She cleans them, she stimulates their breathing, she helps them stay warm. Without licking, newborn puppies wouldn't survive. Later, as the puppies grow, something else happens. The puppies start licking their mother. Not because they suddenly feel affectionate, but because it signals need. In the wild, puppies lick around their mother's mouth to trigger feeding. It's a communication signal. A way of saying, I'm here. I need something. I'm part of this group. From the very beginning, licking isn't just affection, it's communication. And that behavior doesn't disappear when dogs grow up. It simply changes meaning. Here's where things get a little more interesting. In many social animals, licking often moves upward in the group. Lower-ranking members lick higher-ranking members. Not dramatic submission, not weakness, just relationship maintenance. A quiet signal that says, I recognize you. I'm not a threat. Our connection is stable. Dogs evolved as social animals, which means they constantly monitor relationships, especially with the humans they live with. And that leads to a question most people never ask. When does your dog lick you the most? Is it during play? Or is it when you're quiet, tired, or emotionally distant? A lot of dogs increase licking when something in the environment feels slightly uncertain. Maybe you're stressed. Maybe your routine changed. Maybe you've been busy and haven't interacted as much. Dogs notice these shifts, often before we do. So sometimes licking isn't excitement, it's reassurance. There's another biological layer too. Licking actually releases calming chemicals in dogs. It's a self-soothing behavior, which means sometimes your dog licks you not because they're celebrating you, but because they're calming themselves. Imagine this. You come home after a long day. Your shoulders are tight. Your voice sounds a little different. Your dog runs up to greet you, tail wagging, and then starts licking your hands. Most people see that and think, my dog is so happy to see me. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes it's something else. It's your dog stabilizing the emotional moment, returning things to normal. Dogs are surprisingly good at sensing tension, and licking can be one of their ways of regulating that tension, quietly, without us even realizing it. But not every explanation is emotional. Sometimes it's much simpler. You taste interesting. Human skin carries salt. Lotions carry scent. Even the natural oils on your skin have unique chemical signals. Dogs experience the world through scent and taste combined. To them, your skin isn't symbolic, it's information. If your dog licks your hands after you eat popcorn, or licks your legs after a workout, that probably isn't emotional bonding. It's curiosity, pure sensory curiosity. Dogs explore the world with their mouths the same way humans explore with their hands. There's also a behavioral reason many people don't think about. Licking works. You react. You laugh. You move your hand. You talk to them. You make eye contact. From a behavioral perspective, that's reinforcement. And behaviors that create interaction tend to repeat. So sometimes dogs lick us because it reliably gets attention. Not manipulation, just learning. A behavior that produces connection gets repeated again and again. So what does it really mean when your dog licks you? The honest answer is, it depends on the moment. Sometimes it's affection. Sometimes it's curiosity. Sometimes it's self-soothing. Sometimes it's simply a learned habit. But almost always, it's communication. Licking isn't just a kiss. It's your dog checking the state of your relationship. It's a small signal that says, are we good? Are we connected? Is everything okay between us? And once you start noticing that, something interesting happens. You stop seeing licking as a random habit. You start noticing the moment around it. What you were doing, how you were feeling, what your dog might have sensed. And suddenly, that small, simple behavior starts to look a lot more like a conversation, one that's been happening quietly between you and your dog all along. And when you start paying attention to that conversation, you begin to understand your dog in a much deeper way. Not just the behavior, but the relationship behind it. And that kind of connection is much more interesting than a simple kiss.